Greetings. Welcome herein. Welcome here in.
Welcome here to Placerita.
Is this going to be a long day? Don't say that. Allow me to introduce myself. I am called Lord Robert Shallow. They say I'm deep. My name is Shallow. They say I'm, it's a shallow. We're clearly not awake yet, are we? Sorry, I can relate. I am said to be master of the hawk, master of the hound, and master of the hunt. And on this day I have been brought forward to share a wee bit of my life to that of all of yours. And so I begin with a question for all of you. Is there anyone here who thinks they might know what falconry is? Good, my lady, speak your mind. Falconry is a form of hunting, but not just any kind of hunting. As a falconer, for my weapon of destruction, I shall not choose a shot or a gun, nor will I choose bow and arrow, archery, nor even do I choose a spear or dagger. That was a real dagger. You'd be dead. And your friend would laugh at you. She's sitting there laughing. You just did. No, it's true. Instead, to create the chaos that I so dearly love, I will choose what is called a bird of prey. Bird of prey. Is that a bird that prays to God? No, of course not. What's a bird of prey? Who knows? You? Hunts what? Bread. Oh, pray! Enunciate the words. Pray. Well, and what is the prey? Hey? Why do we have to go small? Why does everyone want to go small? Why does it go small? Okay? Just that. Look, a bird of prey is a bird that goes out, grabs hold of an animal, rips it apart into itty bitty pieces, and eats it. That's a bird of prey. Now, a moment ago I told you I was a master falconer, but before I became a master, I did need learn from a master. And when you learn a trade or a skill from a master, what are you called? An apprentice, quite correct. For 2 long years, you will apprentice with a master falconer, during which time you are allowed to have your very own bird. Frightening, isn't it? Imagine all of you with a bird. Good God. As an apprentice, you are given a choice. You may choose as your very first bird, you may choose to have a hawk. Or as your first bird, you may instead choose to have a falcon. Now, if you were an apprentice to a master falconer, which would you prefer, a falcon or a hawk? Who said hawk? Who said falcon? Who don't care? Here's the difference. First of all, as an apprentice, will you make mistakes? Of course you will. It's not shameful to make a mistake. What's shameful is when you do not learn from your mistakes. Isn't that right? You know about that, don't you? Yeah. So, those of you who chose to have as your very first bird a hawk, understand this. No matter what you do, no matter how many mistakes that you make, at the end of the day, she'll forgive you. It's not because she loves you. She could care less about you. The thing is that the reason that she forgives you is because she knows at the end of the day, no matter what you've done to her, in your pouch, you've got her food. She wants it. She needs it. It's the only thing that motivates her. It's a wee bit like the relationship you have with your parents, isn't it? You greedy monster. But many of you did not choose to have for your first bird a hawk. You chose instead to have a falcon. So yeah, very good, yeah. Put your hand out. Oh, that kind of show. A falcon. Let me explain this. What about a falcon? Falcons are extremely intelligent. With that intelligence, they are frightened easily. One other thing to know of a falcon. They remember everything. If you make a mistake, they remember it. Should that mistake cause them harm, injury of any kind, they remember that too. Not only do they remember that mistake, but they do in fact remember that you did it. And when you're speaking of a bird that can rip your face right off, which would you rather start with, a falcon or a hawk? A hawk. Who said falcon?
That's very funny.
You don't care much for your face, do you, lad? You're smart enough not to hurt it. Is he always this way?
Yes.
So, a wise apprentice, an apprentice with much intelligence, would choose as their first bird a bird that will teach them. A hawk. You must go into the wild and take from the wild a hawk. You must take it into your care. And you must teach her to trust you. So much so that if you were to launch her into the sky even now, completely free, you worry not of where she goes. You know you may bring her down to you at any time you want. All one needs to do is place a glove on. It's very important that you put the glove on first. You learn that lesson once. You put the glove on. You place a wee bit of meat in the palm of your hand, for it is all she will eat is raw meat. You hold it in her direction. Perhaps cry a whistle in her direction. And she in her way, she shall lift her wings wide and open, as sails on a ship, gathering the wind to glide ever so gracefully down to land, as light as a feather upon your very arm. And rip the tail of meat from your hand! I like that part. That is trust. When you have gained such trust, you may now take the bird into the wild and teach her the ways of the hunt. You will teach your hawk to be a better hunter than she ever could have hoped to have learned on her own. We do this for we know that not only to enjoy the hunt with them, but we do it for we know that each day we fly them, we do fly them free. It's their choice to return to us. Should she choose to leave my care, sad in my heart I may be. But I worry not of her survival, for I know I have given her grand hunting skills, and she will carry on for many years to come. Such is the way of a falconer's life. Before we go into the birds directly, though, I have one more question for you. Answer me this one, by show of hand. What country do you think falconry may have come from? Okay. Scotland! Land and home of the brave! No. Another country. Okay. You do know that's a continent, right? It's actually two continents. Oh dear. Yay! Skirt girl!
Mexico?
Mexico. No. Another country. Again? Ireland, the Irish. You know, the Irish are actually only good for one thing. Exercise in the elbow. What? England. Now that's a proud, true country, isn't it? Rich in its heritage, ancient in its ways. Sadly, though, the English have never truly created anything. Another country. Are these the only countries in the world? Yay? Canada. What is that, a disease? Again, Africa's a continent. Who is teaching these people? Yay.
France.
Oh, the Frenchies. Ooh la la. Oui, oui. Actually, all the French have done is create a wafty smell attached to them. Stinky. Yay? Where are we going? Where are we going? He's confused. Alright, people are nowhere. Falconry comes from the land of China. I knew it, but I didn't put my hand up in the air because I thought I would be an idiot. The Chinese first wrote about falconry 4,000 years ago. They wrote about hunting with a hawk to feed their family. This was the beginning of falconry. It is the oldest field sport that is still practiced to this very day. And throughout all that time, it has not changed. It is practiced exactly the same way. So with all this in mind, we know what falconry is, we know where it comes from. Shall we now to the birds?
Yes.
Excellent, well. Before you, the most rare, the most exotic. Talking about the bird. Although he does have an exotic smell from time to time. Most rare, the most exotic. Leather-headed falcon, right here. You saw it first, the one and only. Leatherhead. Not the head. Where else would the head be located? Turn that back right. No notes. Actually, she is not the most rare and exotic leather-headed falcon. There's no such thing. She is a falcon true, and upon her head she wears a leather hood. That hood is there to keep her. Itchy. That hood is there to keep her calm, relaxed, and quiet. Remember I told you falcons are easily disturbed. Part of that is part of that is that everything they do is due to their eyes. This also means that they see fear. So when I place a hood over her head, I have removed her eyesight, and so I have removed her fear as well. And she becomes calm, relaxed, and quiet. And to understand her eyesight even further, so, by show of hand, how many here do read? Only a few of you know how to read. You just like looking at the pictures, don't you? I know you're kind. Well, those of us who know how to read a book, we generally read a book about here, in front of our foot or so from our feet. Pop-up books. Be careful, lad, those castles will fly right out here. About here, foot or so from your face. A falcon, on the other hand, if she could read that very same book, she would read that book at 1.5 miles away. Oh, I know. Imagine that'd make it rather difficult to turn the pages. It's a good picture. Falcons are very important to us, though, for we have named the very sport of kings after this grand monarch of the sky for one reason and one reason alone. We have come to find that they are, in fact, the fastest animals in the world. Did she that you said that? It came out of your filthy little mouth. What's your name? Nicholas. Nicholas here thinks he knows more than I do. So apparently Nicholas is just calling me a liar. Oh, no, he's backtracking. Nicholas, let's see how much you do know. No, he's really bad. I don't know a lot. yours? He is, Nicholas, how fast does a cheetah travel? All right, I'll take that. About 75 miles per hour, Nicholas says a cheetah travels. Nicholas, here's the thing about cheetahs. Cheetahs can't fly, they don't have wings. Falcons, on the other hand, do. And when a falcon flies after its prey, it can travel up to and over 250 miles per hour. And more. That's true. And as she travels at well over 250 miles per hour, what do you suppose she likes to hunt? And Nicholas, don't say cheetahs. What do you think she likes to hunt? Well, yes, food. But what kind? And yes, it's animal. Yay, what? Do you like to eat rodents? Bite the heads off, suck the juices out. Okay? Oh, bunnies! I love bunnies! They're delicious! Bunnies. Let's imagine that for a moment, shall we? Think about this. Think about it. A wee bunny on the grave. Having a lovely day. Eating clover. When it looks into the sky and it sees for itself, what ho! A falcon travelling down after it at well over 250 miles per hour, Nicholas. What will that bunny do? Run, go into its hole, hide, suicide. Choice. Actually, all the rabbit has to do is this. You've got a grand hole in the ground and a pile of feathers everywhere. Falcons do not stop under their own power. They must smack into something. That other something is another bird flying through the air. Aerial combat. This is how it's done. From high above, the falcon sees another bird flying below it. It then dives down out of the sky at well over 250 miles per hour. When it reaches that other bird, with its 2 feet it shall make fist and punch its prey into the sky! Oh, terribly sorry about that. I'll try. The falcon is not done yet. Efficient at hunting they are. They will grab hold of that falling bird, place the neck into their beak, snap the neck in two, instantly killing its prey. Now, a falcon is quite capable of taking a bird that is as small as a sparrow or as large as a swan. It matters not your size. When you weigh 1.5 pounds as that bird does, travel at well over 250 miles per hour. Nicholas. When you smack into something, it's going to hurt. And oh, I've been struck by one, which explains a lot. Now, the next bird I want to introduce to you is actually a very dangerous bird, so it's going to take me a moment to pull him in. Bear with me for a moment. No stairs. There. Maybe we should just go to this one. Oh, sure, that from Nicholas. can call him Bobby. Bobby here is what you call a great horned owl. You can tell me. No, look that way. You can tell me. No, you can tell because upon his head he's got these wee things here. Great horned owl. So, think about owls. You ever heard the phrase, wise as an owl? Yeah. Anyone here ever been told that they are as wise as an owl? It's your mother, your father? Oh, everybody. You live in a delusional world, don't you? It's a very special little world you live in. Dropped as a child, don't you? What's your name like? Carson. Look at me, look at him. So, Carson, here's the thing. Owls actually aren't terribly wise. In fact, they're quite stupid. No, it's sad. It's sad, but it's true. Owls are said to be about as smart as a bag of stone. The only reason we say it's smart is when it smacks you upside the head, it hurts. Owls suffer from what we call a lack of attention span. Some of us can relate, aye? Nicholas. No, it's true. They're not that bright. People, the reason they say that owls are wise is because a long time ago, it used to be thought that people that have big eyes had big minds. Do I want to know what that was? Do you have some chained up things? All right. So, no, it's true. So since they have large eyes, it was thought that they were extremely intelligent. That's all that really is. So if you ever see paintings of people from ancient times and their eyes seem to be extraordinarily large, it was probably someone important that asked the artist to paint them intelligently. Joke, but it's So owls, they're given gifts of 3 that no other bird of prey would have. The first being that of night vision. They can see at night. Secondly, as they travel through the night air, they do so silently, for each of their feathers is frayed at the very edge with a fur-like covering over the top. This muffles the sound as they travel through the air. The prey never hears them coming. They sneak up on an animal, grab hold of it, rip its head off before they even know what's happening. Now, the final gift that an owl has, upon his head you'll notice these wee, hello, 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 hello. See these right here? Those are not his ears. They are his eyebrows. His ears are located right about here in his face, just behind and below his eyes. You cannot see them, they're underneath the feathers. Right about that way. They're right about there. Those are the ears. You can't see them, they're wee holes in his head. So, the thing about it is, you notice that owls have this circular pattern of feathers around each eye. It's there in the shape of a bowl or a dish. It's designed to amplify sound. He can hear a mouse step on a twig 75 yards away. So, I have one more bird to show you this very day before we go. I think you'll like her most well. She's been with me for some time. Let me put this one back. long time. She herself, she has survived 20 winters. She is by far one of the best hunters I've ever trained, quite capable of taking 7 rabbits in but 1 hour's time. Her name, I can call her Lady Margaret. Lady Margaret is a Harris hawk. As a Harris hawk, she hunts very differently and lives very differently than a falcon does. In fact, they're the only birds of prey that live much like you and I. Maybe not like you. Actually, she lives in a pack or a family of 8 to 12 birds all her life. In this pack, they're known to share everything. They share the hunting. They share the food that they capture. They share in the raising of the wee ones. They've even been known to share their mate. Oh, you like that, don't you, laugh? Yeah, he's like, oh, I like it. Before you get too excited, you have to hear it all. In a Harris hawk nest, for every female Harris hawk, there are normally 2 males. You like that, don't you? So, here we go. With Lady Margaret, Lady Margaret is a hawk, and she hunts differently. In fact, she hunts ground prey. She doesn't hunt other birds in flight. She's not fast enough to do that. She can only fly about the same speed that a rabbit can run. It's not very fast, relatively speaking. So, with Lady Margaret, we are going to hunt rabbit, and I brought her this day because I thought it would be a good idea for you to see what a hunt looks like. Do you want to see a hunt? Yes. All right, now, I don't have a rabbit with me this day. They don't let me do that anymore, ever since the incident. But there is a bunny suit back there if you just go see those. No. You're a strange child. It's like, oh, I'll do it. Ripped apart by the raptor. Oh, no, it's not. It's got scars. Oh, no, see, that's the thing with Lady Margaret. It's not a quick death, not like with a falcon. A falcon just snaps your neck and you're done. An owl rips your head right off and you're done. But with a hawk takes her time. She likes to take those lovely talons, those razor-sharp needles, and she likes to just stick them into the flesh of the animal and slowly ooze them inside and squeeze the animal until it's quite dead, taking almost a full hour to kill it in torture and agony. Meanwhile, not being very hungry, she's not waiting. She takes that rather large beak on her head and she begins to rip and tear at the flesh, eating the rabbit alive. How much fun is that? What about child? I like to watch that. So, with Lady Margaret, what I'd like to do is I want to show you what it's like from the bunny's point of view. And just so I know, how much time do we have left before we have to depart? Do you know?
This is daily. I'm sorry, what is the
I'm just checking on the time.
Give about 10 minutes, 11 minutes.
Perfect.
9:02, the bell will ring.
And then they will rush out immediately. Is that how that happens?
They run away from me all the time, too. It's all right.
When you pull the whip out, they're supposed to run. So, what I'd like to do is I'd like to show you from the bunny's point of view what it's like to be hunted. I'd like to show all of you this. So, you must pay attention to my instructions carefully. In a moment, Lady Margaret is going to be unleashed upon you. This means that she will be completely free to do it as she will. Now would not be the time for a leisurely stretch of the hand. Out! Talon in the hand, blood spewing everywhere! I think I should stand up and run in terror! Out! Beak to the ear, talons to the face. Piercings. I hear they're all the rage. However, these are puncture wounds and they will hurt for some 6 to 8 weeks. I know. So, for your safety, and the safety of Lady Margaret, we ask you to remain seated with your hands and arms at your side until the boat comes to a full and complete stop. Thanking you in advance. So, can you leave? You should be scared. Oh, don't worry, I'm not here to kill you. I'm just looking for a technical loss, making my dog. I'm training a new apprentice today, so we're moving a little slower than we normally would. I beg your forgiveness. Well, not yours. I don't care about you. I'm just saying. All right, are we ready for this? Turn. Perfect, right there. Are you nervous? I would be. By the by, should you choose to look skyward, keep the mouth closed. Further down, further down, further down, a little further down, a little further down. Yeah, no, that's good right there. All right, now, this is something I didn't teach you. Take a wee bit of food. Choose a good one. Quickly, she wants it. Now, place it between your first and thumb fingers. Right there. Now, give me your profile. And let's have a go to you. All right. Now that you have hold of her, spin round the proper way, the proper way, the proper way. Just like that. It's like doing a pyramid. And here we go. Such as the gentleman that sits afore me. Well, as Lady Margaret flew over his head, he did this. For reasons I do not wish to know. So understand, should you find yourself behind Lady Margaret, know that she poops 3 feet long. And it's under pressure. You could do that, eh? That would attract the girls, wouldn't it? Want to go out with me? Look what I can do. We give you the Lady Margaret. All for brotherly side, we do love, honor, and respect these grand monarchs of the sky. For from them we learn much. From our owls we learn to see through our darkest hour. And should our sight fail us, to rely upon other senses. From our hawks we learn to grasp an opportunity when it's at hand, brave and true with a fearless heart, never to look back. And finally, from our falcons, who fly higher and faster than most man would ever dare to alone, we may someday learn the freedom of the soul. And with that, I thank you for your most kind attention. Amen.